24 life-changing habits for 2024. Realistic goals, changes and additions that you can implement into your life, make you a better you and have a healthier and happier 24. What I'm going to be doing here in this video is I'm going to be implementing these 24 goals that I have personally for 2024. You can follow along too. You can put these into place. Let's start now, make a change and make 2024 a better year. Hi everyone and welcome back to another video, and if you're new to our channel, hi, I'm Laura and thanks for joining us here on the Brownie Life today. The things that I'm going to feature in this video are realistic changes, things that anyone can do at any one time. A lot of them are not that difficult, it's just actually putting the time aside to actually make these changes for yourself. So I'm going to show you realistic approaches as to how to do these types of things. These are realistic changes, definitely real life. A lot of things on social media, YouTube and other platforms definitely show a lot of lives that are not necessarily real life, do they? So I want to show you real life, realistic approaches to things that you can change for your life for 2024, things that I'm doing. Now you guys at home are definitely helping me, because by me first of all just taking the plunge to actually put together this video in the first place is helping me. It's a guide for myself that I'm going to stick to, and I have to do it really, because if I want to do any other videos to do with this particular video, I do want to do other spin-offs in terms of taking a few of these different ideas and doing some other videos on just those specific topics, so that I can really sort of niche that down for all of you. But in doing that, I definitely have to follow a plan and the goals myself, so it's making me stick to it. So you're helping me, I want to help you. Definitely follow along on this video, and I definitely think that you'll get some useful information and then just someone else really to follow along with, really. We can all do this together, definitely. It's not just for a video, it's things that I'm going to be doing anyway, and I just wanted to really put together this video because I think personally it will have a positive impact on lots of other people and will help me also. So any of you that have been watching our videos for a while will probably notice that I've not uploaded a video in a couple of weeks here on the Brownie Life. Yeah, I've just had a couple of bad weeks, to be honest. More so than that, to be honest. I think definitely before Christmas, I had goals, I had things I was planning, I had a mission of where I wanted to get to in terms of weight loss and doing lots of other videos, and then there was Christmas and there was planning. And then Christmas happened and it was lovely, don't get me wrong. But I definitely think, and I'm sure all of you out there probably feel quite the same, that Christmas then happens and then you just feel like this letdown of, right, okay, is that it? You know, it's a brand new year and what do I do now with things? What do I do with my life? What am I supposed to do for this next new year? Maybe you don't feel like that, but you know, comment down below if you have been feeling that way. That's why I didn't do this video before. I didn't really have the motivation behind me to do the video, and I really wanted to put a lot of good information in here and really just put across what I want to do for 2024, and in an effort to have a positive impact on all of you so that you can do the same. So yeah, I've been away for a couple of weeks. Well, as I say away, I've not been physically away, I've just been probably mentally away, in all honesty. I have had a hospital procedure as well, that didn't help. All sort of ladies things I'm not going to talk about on a YouTube channel. I'm sure you can probably put two and two together and work out the types of things that I'm talking about. It's definitely ladies things, and it's not been very pleasant for me. I haven't really had, you know, the greatest, you know, last few weeks to definitely start 2024 off. But you know, I'm getting there now. I'm not too bad. So, you know, hospital procedures, feeling a little bit low, just starting the year on not a good note, a really slow start to 2024. And that's where this video is kicking in and making me have the motivation to start all of these new things for this next new year. I've got some notes here, so if I do look down a few times, that's because I've got a folder full of notes that I've made in preparation for this video. But I will try not to look down because it's a little bit distracting for you all, isn't it, if you're listening to me and I keep looking down. But I really hope that all of this really helps all of you. Definitely had those moments over the last few weeks to think, is YouTube right for me? Is this what I should be doing? Shall I just give up on it all? But you know what? I've come too far. Me and Emily, you know, for the Brownie Life, we've come too far in our journey with YouTube to just literally give up on it. And I don't want to do that. I think I've had to just change my mindset. I think I've had to just change of the things that I want out of 2024. I think I've just had to give myself, you know, a real talking to be honest. And that's why I'm doing the video, you know, as a motivational video to give you some ideas for 2024, but also just to really say that, you know, this is real life. You know, we behind the camera, we're real people doing real jobs, real life things. And some things with social media, you know, with YouTube, putting YouTube videos out, having that pressure to sort of do things, does change how you are. You know, it does make you different, in the sense that you want to succeed at something, and if maybe you don't feel that you are succeeding, it does make you feel different. However, on the flip side of that, I think for me, doing YouTube has definitely changed my life. I think it has been something that I can really put a lot of effort into, and I'm really enjoying it. And I have, you know, I've had definite frustrating moments, and so has Emily as well. But for us, I definitely think it is something that we want to continue with. So I hope that you're pleased with that. You know, I hope you want to see more videos from us here at The Brownie Life. So let's make some positive impacts on our lives for ourselves. So for you, for me, for all of our families. Hopefully this video will really help all of us to put these things into place. Now, some things that I will talk about could be to do with like exercise or diet or things like that. Definitely consult a GP if you feel the need to do that. You know, don't just go by this video in the sense that, well, I'm doing this, so you should do this. Definitely seek any medical advice where you feel necessary to do that. The 24 things that I'm going to be discussing are not in any particular order. They're not in any order of importance. I myself am just going to work all of them in my own sort of time, my own space and everything, and you can do the same. So you could potentially just pick a few things out of this video and just put into practice, really, just a few things that you might find priority for you. And remember, if you like the content of today's video, definitely subscribe to our channel, help us grow further. I will be doing obviously a lot more videos to do with the types of things that we're going to discuss today, as well as lots of other things. Normally we have done quite a lot of sort of Primark, shopping hauls, travel and holidays. There's so many things that we have actually covered here on The Brownie Life, and we will continue to do so going through this year. So there's definitely more travel plans and more Primark coming up for those of you that like that type of content. But if you're looking in terms of weight loss, diet, lifestyle, all that type of sort of areas, and also just changing things that you're going to change for 2024, I'm going to definitely cover more videos like this one. So subscribe to our channel, give the video a really big like as well. So let's get motivated, let's put into place our 24 life-changing habits for 2024. I'm going to be doing these, you can too. Let's start with number one. So starting with number one, I definitely think it has to be motivation. In terms of motivation, sometimes it is really difficult. People around you can obviously try their best to try to motivate you and get you to do the things that you do need to do in everyday life. It's not always that easy though, is it? You know, it's not that easy to just say, motivate yourself, just get going, you know, get up and do this, that and the other. Obviously, I have a normal job, you know, I have a day-to-day job, so I get up and I do that. I do things in the house, I, you know, look after my family. I do all of those things, but I think it's everything else around that. I just can't always seem to motivate myself. So for 2024, I want to put in a plan that is definitely going to give me that kick, give me that motivation to make me do other things for myself, make myself a lot more healthier and happier, and ultimately help the family around me, because then I'll be a happier person as well. Now, what am I going to do personally to try to help myself? Well, I definitely think you need to change your mindset to start with. I think if you wake up feeling quite negative or thinking, well, this isn't this, or this hasn't happened, or I haven't done this and I haven't done that, and you feel quite guilty about a lot of those type of things, I think you're just going to straight away start yourself on a negative day, negative mindset. And I'm going to really try to change that myself by doing lots of different things. Now, one thing that I did get for Christmas is this book, Test Daily. Not sure that it's going to be, you know, the ideal thing for me, but I was really, really happy to receive it, because I was looking into it before Christmas, and I definitely think it will have some really good tips in there. So this is a Test Daily, 4 steps to a happier, healthier you. So again, I'm not sponsored or in any way at all, and I haven't read this book. I have read a few snippets of it, and it does seem really, really interesting. I do like Test Daily anyway. I think that the main thing that I would say is find a book like this. Find someone that you quite like, you know, find someone that you find inspiring potentially, and read about anything that they're talking about to make a happier you, a healthier you, motivational type of things that just actually appeal to you. There's no point reading about somebody's life or how they would motivate themselves if you don't find that interesting, if that's not the path that you want to go down. So try to look at like books and things that might help you, a person that, as I say, inspires you, that might actually just encourage you to do those types of things. As I say, I've had a look at a few snippets about it. On the back here it says eat, breathe, move and sleep. All really 4 important things. So I'm going to really enjoy having a look at this. I think there's recipes in it and all sorts of things. So I'm going to use this book as well as a few of my own ideas to just try to motivate myself. I'm going to really try not to worry about it and put too much pressure on myself. And I think that's definitely a big piece of advice to any of you following this video. Try not to be too hard on yourself. I think that's something that I do regularly. I definitely worry about things and I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself. And then when it goes wrong, I then just feel worse, and then I end up in a worse situation than what I would have done if I'd just let things go a little bit and then just moved on. So I definitely want to just wake up with a better mindset, and I think reading things like this might help me, and I will just put into place a few of my own ideas, and quite a few of the other things that I'm going to discuss, the other 23 things, definitely will help with the motivational. So what I'm saying is, although I'm pinpointing 1 to 24, a lot of those things are kind of very similar and will actually entwine with each other. So one thing will have a knock-on effect with another thing. So definitely keep watching because there's lots more information to come. So let's get to number 2. So number 2 is definitely prioritizing things. It is something that I think a lot of people find really, really difficult, me included. I think I'm quite good in terms of a working environment to prioritize things, but I think when I'm at home and I think in my own self of what I prioritise, I don't think I'm very good at that at all. And I think to prioritise a lot of things in your day-to-day life, I think will make things an awful lot easier. I think having a plan, a structure, a schedule for each day, I think is definitely something that I'm going to work on. A week ahead, I'm going to do a bigger plan in terms of what the week ahead looks like, what I need to prioritise. So I'm going to be looking at things that I absolutely need to do for that week. I'm then going to also be looking at things that I could do, but it doesn't really matter if I don't get them done. And then things that I just like to do. So if I have the time, perfect, fit that in. And then the night before each day, I think I'm just going to roll through in my mind, or maybe jot it down on a bit of paper, of the things that, what's coming up tomorrow, what is the number 1 thing, or the 3 things that I have to get through the next day. And then really just try to put that, into practice. I think I need to start thinking of, if I want to do that workout first thing on the morning, I need to set my alarm that bit earlier. I need to get up and I need to do that. Don't let other things try to steer you away from it. So something might happen that morning, or somebody else needs something else from you. And I think it's about talking that night before and making sure that other people in your household are doing the things that they need to do for their next day, and you're doing the things that you need to do for your next day. And if those other things are a priority for you, make them a priority. Try to get that done. It's not going to happen 7 days a week. I'm not under any illusion that any of this video, that anything that I'm talking about, that I'm going to absolutely 100% do every single day, every week, for the whole year. It's not going to happen. I think I need to have a realistic approach to it as well. But I think prioritising, making those lists, making those things happen is definitely a big thing. Do you know what I think as well? I think having little goals, just little things that can actually make big changes, I think is a massive thing. So even if that little thing for you is getting up that morning and you need to do a workout, or you need to do your shopping list because that's where you're going, or you need to get up early because you've got a meeting at work or whatever, and you want to prioritise those things. Make a list, make sure that you do it. Cross it out, you've done it then. Let's move on to the next thing type of thing. So that's definitely the mindset that I want to have in terms of prioritising things for my life. Number 3 is definitely exercise, workout, anything to make you move, make your body move. I can't say this enough because I think it's something that, for me personally, years ago, I did an awful lot more exercise. I did workouts, I used to run, I used to do dancing things. I just used to do so much more. I had Emily, which for all of us, once we've had a child, sometimes we just don't make that time, do we? Or we don't think it's important, or our body hurts and we just can't be bothered to do it, we don't have the self-esteem to do it, we don't have the motivation to do it. And that's something that I definitely want to change, because I've done it before, I know I can do it, and I'm going to do it again. So I think just moving, whether it be walking, whether it be swimming, doing a workout. So for me personally, a gym is not something that I would like to do. I have done gyms in the past. I don't stick to them. I find that I feel too self-conscious. I feel like everyone's looking at me. I can't concentrate on what I'm actually supposed to be doing. I feel like I'm going to break the machinery, or I'm not going to do it right. I just feel a lot more self-conscious. And if that's you out there, you're sort of feeling that way, then don't feel bad. You don't have to sign up for gyms and do expensive courses and things like that. It's definitely something with exercise and workouts you can do for free. You can do in your own home. YouTube, this platform is amazing for so many different things. I found so many people on YouTube in terms of sort of motivational exercise workouts, and not really high impact things either. Some people love cardio work, and some people love really high impact, and then some people love things like yoga and Pilates and things such as that, and that can definitely be more relaxing in any event. So I think it's something that, pick something that works for yourself, not because people say you need to do this exercise because this will help you lose weight, this will get you fit. Do things that work for you, because I think as well, if you start on a level, then that's for me, that this is what's going to be working for me, because I know that I've done this in the past. Start at a level where it might be just quite gentle exercise, quite gentle things, and you will definitely work your way up to doing a lot more things. Because once you get that motivation, once you get that push inside you where you sort of think, yeah, I really want to do this exercise, because then you start to feel good about yourself, and you will definitely do more. Build slowly, but I do walk quite a lot anyway, so I would put that into the box of exercise in any event. But I think a realistic goal is maybe 5 days out of 7 doing some form of workout for me personally. And in addition to that, doing a lot of the walking, which I already do anyway. So exercise is a massive key for your mental health and physical health. So definitely try and do whatever you can do, whatever you feel works for yourself. So number 4, weight loss is a definite big thing for me. Now, I lost my first stone before Christmas. I definitely followed quite a lot of different things, from detoxing through to a little bit kind of a take on the egg diet, not massively strict on the egg diet, but definitely following something similar with egg and fruit for a few days at a time, and then healthy eating, cutting out those treats, just cutting out the things that are unnecessary. I did that before Christmas. So check out my weight loss video that's already here on the Brownie Life if you haven't seen that already. As I say, go check that out, but I will be doing definitely more videos to do with weight loss. I have lost myself a little bit with the whole weight loss thing. I did that before Christmas. I lost my first stone, which I was so pleased about. Didn't even take me that long to do that, by doing the detoxing, a few days of like an egg diet and fruit and things, and then introducing healthy foods for me and just cutting out the rubbish, in all honesty. Having 3 healthy meals a day, that's pretty much what I followed. I didn't even get to sort of working out of a exercise plan because I didn't get that far, because then Christmas came upon us and I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna enjoy my Christmas, which I was always planning to do. I wanted to lose weight for definite, and I wanted to do before Christmas, and gosh, I'm so glad I did, because I did actually spend quite a few weeks just eating things and doing things. I just shouldn't have eaten the food that I did eat. I did enjoy it, I had a lovely Christmas, but now I'm thinking, really, why did you do that, Laura? Why did you do that to yourself? Because you lost a stone. I've no idea what I've actually gained, because I'm too scared to go on the scales. Not doing that just yet. I'm going to have this sort of next week or so of just cutting back generally, not doing really harsh diets, but just cutting back just generally. Then I'm going to weigh myself, and then in this next week or so, I'm going to start properly back on it again. So I'm definitely going to change a lot in terms of weight loss, because for me personally, that is one of the biggest things I think that will help me move forward in 2024. Also as well, think about, have you got something that's like a big event, or a big thing that's happening in 2024? Have you got a real big holiday that you're looking forward to? And for us personally, we're definitely going to be traveling more, doing more holidays, and I've got something further on further into the year, you know, a bigger event for us, a big anniversary. And it's something that, if I'm honest, I just feel that, you know, if I could lose weight, a lot more weight, and be healthier and happier, I just feel that I'll be in a better place in my life, you know, a better place, better space in my head for that type of event and that type of holiday that hopefully we'll have planned. So yeah, keep tuned for more of our travel and holiday plans for definite. But weight loss is a big thing. It takes a long time, and I think you have to change your mindset before you get major results, really, to be honest. But definitely look out for more videos on weight loss from me. So for number 5, I'm definitely going to be implementing some type of vitamins or health product. I have tried sort of the immunity, you know, like ginger shots, I can't remember what they're called, them type of drinks and things before. Not really been that bothered about them, but I definitely want to try more things like that for immunity and just being sort of feeling healthier and things like that. So that type of thing is definitely something that I want to be looking more into. I have previously taken evening primrose capsules, and I definitely felt better on them. I think for more ladies' issues, I think they're pretty good. Again, with this being a video that's going out on YouTube, I'm not condoning any particular vitamins, tablets, products or anything, because it has to be something that you have to want to take yourself. And if you've got other medical conditions that you might need to speak to your doctor about, some things you just simply cannot take if you're already taking something else. So, you know, don't sort of take this video as gospel. You know, there's just things that I'm gonna implement into my own sort of diet, you know, my own lifestyle, but it might not work for you. So maybe read into things a little bit more. So if there's a certain vitamin or a certain tablet that you think might help things how you're feeling. So you might be feeling quite fatigued, you know, you might be feeling not that well in terms of having that motivation. Is there a particular vitamin or something that might help you with that, or a certain other product? You might have a lot of tummy problems and you might think, you know, like a probiotic drink or something that you might not have tried before. But again, all these types of things, if you're unsure, definitely seek, you know, some other medical advice. But for me personally, I've taken evening primrose oil previously, and that's something that I'm going to do just to try and help in terms of, you know, being a lady and, you know, being in my 40s. And yeah, life's not always that promising, is it? You know, sometimes you just think to yourself, I'm this age and, you know, I need to try to help my body and help my mind. So I'm going to start taking that again. And as I said, I might sort of look into more the immunity type things. So for number 6, mindfulness. It's something that a lot of people practice and a lot of people put an awful lot of time into their day in terms of mindfulness. Now, for me personally, I just don't feel I've got the time to put into an awful lot for this, but I definitely want to put in, everyone can do it. We can all give 5 minutes on a morning. You get up and maybe you do 5 minutes of mindfulness. There is so many things on YouTube as well in terms of things that you can watch, things that you know, you listen to. You can just lay there on the floor, listen to somebody talking, and it might just set you up in a much better frame of mind and have a much better positive day. So for me personally, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes, listen to some things that I've already kind of done in the past on YouTube, where you just listen to that mindfulness of and how you breathe in. Breathing is such, you know, we talk about breathing and we need to breathe to live, don't we? You know, to live every day. But actually, how many of us breathe properly? You know, if I'm stressed and I'm busy, I don't take time to breathe properly. I think breathing is definitely a massive technique that we all need to know how to do it properly. Mindfulness, breathing techniques, any of those things is definitely a top tip. 2024 is something that I'm definitely going to start doing. Number 7 is routines. I can't stress enough that if you don't have a routine, you don't have a schedule, you don't have things that you follow, for some people, it's absolutely fine. It works brilliantly. If they don't do anything, they can get up and think, what are we doing today? And this, that, and the other. But sometimes I think, for me personally, I'm just speaking from personal experience, it just doesn't work for me. I need to plan my day. I need to know what I'm doing. I need to have a routine. And more often than not, I just get out of those routines. I start building a routine and then I go back again. I build a routine, I go back again. And I think it's something that for 2024, I want to build routines that stick, that work, that I just literally stick to, that I want to do to help me, help my family, and just have a better life in terms of having these routines, these systems in place. And I don't mean over the top routines. I don't mean literally planning every second of every day, of every week, of every month. I don't mean that. I mean just having an actual routine. So if you plan out your week in terms of the days that maybe you're working, you know, what you're going to do on an evening, in weekends, you know, do you need to do DIY in the house? Do you need to see family and friends? Have you got a teen like me that wants to do lots of things in her own life? And then we've got to fit into those plans. Funny, I know, more about teenager life a bit later in the video. Yeah, I think it's a case of talking to each other as well as a family. For us, there's only 3 of us, but sometimes communication can just break down. When you break down with the communication, you don't have routines, you don't have systems, everything goes wrong, from school uniform not being washed because you forgot to do it, you know, other things happening that you've not remembered, you haven't wrote down in a diary or something. For me personally, when I buy a diary, I write in it loads in January, forget about it the rest of the year. That's just what I do. But the rest of the things in my life, I'm always definitely very organised, plan everything, and I love to be a lot more organised and working things out. But I think the last few years, for me personally, that's slipped. It's just gone. It's gone out of the radar and I just can't do it. I think for things for YouTube has definitely made me more organised, made me plan, because I have to get these videos out for you all. You know, I have to look at, you know, what video's coming next, what am I going to be doing, what am I going to be doing next week, what am I going to be doing next month. So for me personally, YouTube has helped me motivate myself, organise myself and have those routines, but I definitely need to do a lot more. I need to be looking at my days off from work, you know, what do I need to do YouTube wise, what do I need to do in the house, DIY things, seeing family, friends, things like that. Then the days that I work, obviously I'm doing that. And then what am I doing on an evening? You know, what can we plan? How can we have a better routine? So personally, I would definitely advise you out there with any of your families, build a routine that certain people do certain jobs to help you so that you all know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Could be washing pots. So it could be, you know, if you don't have a dishwasher. I don't have a dishwasher, don't like them, I don't want one. I'm perfectly happy washing pots. Sometimes it ends up being my husband's job, sometimes we end up sharing it. But in all honesty, we have a teenager in the house, so really it should be split 3 ways, shouldn't it? For definite. So these are the types of things that I'm talking about, having a routine and trying to stick to them. So if you think, well, actually, I can split that job 3 ways and all of us could share that job, that will give me more time to do this, that and the other, and therefore my life will be a lot less stressed, a lot more organised, and those routines and those structures are going to help me. And they're the type of things that I'm talking about. I'm not going to go into things on this video as to how you build a routine, you know, what routines am I going to put into place, because the video would just be too long. This video is going to be long anyway, but it's going to be even longer if I go into everything. But I will definitely do more videos on that in terms of how to build those routines and like how to stick at things and the types of things that I'm talking about. You can also build a morning and a night routine. I will go into this a little bit more because I do talk about other things in terms of more night times and, you know, mornings and things. But for definite, building a routine, you know, in terms of, you know, when you're going to bed, when you're getting up, things like that, and have a routine of the set things that you're going to do on a morning or on a night. And I don't mean you have to be so structured that it ruins everybody else's life. You know, if you're saying, well, I want to watch this and I want to do this and I'm going to do this, I mean, the rest of your family have to be considered as well, don't they? So I don't mean it like that. I mean, these could be things that you sit down as a family and talk about, of the fact that you might need a certain hour on a morning because you need to do this, that and the other, you know, and they might be able to help you being able to do that so that you're happier, you're healthier, you're feeling that you've done them routines, you've just got more organised. And that might mean that later on in the day you might be able to do a lot more for them and you might be able to help, you know, them in other ways. So I think it's just about sitting down as a family, building those routines together. But me, for one, I'm definitely going to build a morning and a night routine. It's something I just don't have. I tend to go to bed when I feel like it. I get up. I do get up really early because I have to. 1, for work. 2, on my days off, I'm tending to do YouTube things, and I'm very busy, so I do have to get up. But I just don't have very much sleep, so I need to build on those routines. So I'm definitely going to set a morning and a night routine. So watch this space. I'll definitely put some videos out on morning and night routines in the future. Talk about routines. So moving on from number 7, now moving on to number 8, sleep. Sleep is such a massive part of our lives. And I, for one, I don't get enough sleep. I know I don't. I know that I just generally don't have that real quality sleep that I should have. Now, previously I have done things like a sleep app, you know, to look at in terms of how I'm sleeping. And I think I'm going to definitely sort of look into doing that again. I'm not sure if they're really that accurate, whether they tell the truth about how you are. I don't know in terms of your sleeping, but I'm going to definitely look into that just to see if I can see any patterns for myself. And I'm definitely going to be introducing have a better sleep pattern. The biggest thing in terms of sleep, the most important thing, I don't do it. I never have done it, if I'm honest, and 2024 is going to be the year I'm going to do it. You out there could do it too, because if you read anything to do with sleep, the importance of sleep, the biggest thing that comes out of it is go to bed and get up at the same time. So I don't mean go to bed and then get straight back up again. Don't mean like that. Haha. What I mean is go to bed at the set time. So if you decide your night time is going to be, you're going to go to bed at 11 o'clock every night, or you're going to go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, stick to it. Then work out roughly how much sleep you feel you need. So if you need 7 hours, 8 hours, some people can survive on a lot less of 6. But work out what's right for you. Work out a set bedtime routine and then get up. And then when you get up, that time, so you might be getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever that might be, but get up at that time every morning. Set your alarm, make sure you do it, and do that 7 days a week. Number 9 is reading. Definitely reading more books. For me personally, I've never been a massive reader. I'm definitely someone, I do enjoy reading, you know, once I'm actually into a book and I'm getting the plot and I'm really interested in it, I love then reading. But then the rest of the time, I just don't seem to. It seems a really lame excuse in the sense that I feel that you don't have time to read, and that sounds stupid because everyone's got time to read. It's a really great life skill, and it's really something that can help relax you. And a lot of studies have shown that, you know, reading really does help in terms of helping your brain, helping you sleep, lots of different reasons why you should definitely take up reading. I do have quite a lot of books at home that I just haven't read yet, a lot of autobiographies. That's something else that I'm really interested in, learning about other people's lives, business books, things like that. So I'm definitely interested in quite a few things. So I, for one, am definitely going to start reading an awful lot more. I'm going to make that time at bedtime, particularly, probably 10-15 minutes, maybe half an hour before I want to go to sleep. Definitely start reading, because I think it will help me switch off, it'll help me relax, and I definitely think it's something that would be a really good thing to start implementing for 2024. So comment down below any book ideas that you think I might be interested in. I'd definitely love to hear from you all in terms of the types of things that you read, what you found interesting, you know, really good books that are gripping, that you really want to keep reading them. They're the type of books that I'm really interested in. But for now, I'm going to start reading, you know, the autobiographies that I've got right now, and then maybe the Colin Hoover books. That's what I might do next. Does anyone ever get brain fog? Do you ever just find yourself, your brain just thinking of all different things but the thing that you're supposed to be thinking about? So many times all of these things happen to me. Might be an age thing, don't know, not really sure. But for me personally, I think number 10 has to be focus and plan, because I think if you don't focus on things and you don't plan things, I think a lot of the time things just simply go wrong. I find myself a lot of the time, I've got all these ideas, lots of things rolling around my brain, and I just then start to think, actually, what have I done? I've just thought about all these type of things, but what have I actually done? I haven't. So I do find that sometimes my mind just wanders. Don't think it helps actually with YouTube type of things, because I think you're constantly thinking of ideas. You're constantly thinking of what can you create, what can you do better, how can you do things better, how can you learn. I think your mind does wander a little bit more than someone who maybe doesn't do YouTube. But maybe that's an excuse, don't know. As I say, don't know if it's my age, probably is. I think for me, having a project, so like a bigger thing to focus on, is definitely a good thing. I am someone that usually is quite good when it's an actual project. So if we're going away, when I say project, it could be anything from something that you're just interested in to something you're actually doing. It could be an event, it could be a birthday, like a big birthday you're trying to plan. It could be a YouTube video that you're trying to put together. It could be a holiday and things that you need to do. So for instance, every time we go to Disneyland Paris, there is quite a lot in terms of planning. So you may be looking at what season is on, you know, what you're likely to see, what you like to do, what do you want to do out of the holiday, what characters do you want to see, what rides do you want to go on. There's lots of things to plan for Disneyland Paris, whereas if you go on an all-inclusive holiday, so like when we've gone to Turkey and Crete, check out our videos on our channel if you haven't already. Turkey and Crete were what we did for 2023 for all-inclusive holidays. You don't really need to do a lot of planning, do you, really? Because most things are just there for you, but you might want to plan the places that you might want to be going. So for us personally, we went out of the all-inclusive to actually go look at, you know, a bit more cultural things and go into places for the day or the evening. And those are the type of things that what I'm meaning is in terms of like focusing on things, maybe watching YouTube videos and researching certain things. Or as I say, if you've got an event or a birthday, you might be planning all the things that you're putting together. That's a really good way of focusing. These are the types of things that I'm meaning in terms of focusing and planning. Because I think it's all too easy to have lots of ideas up here and then not putting it down in paper, not planning those type of things that you want to focus on. So for me personally, I'm going to start making a focus plan. I'm going to put together each month of the year, what is happening in that month, what do I need to plan for, so that I can maybe plan a month ahead, maybe more than that if I need to. So we have got a Disney trip coming up. I need to be looking at that. I have already been looking at things, but there's certain things that I need to look at in certain months, if you see what I mean. It could be that we've got other things going on in the summer that I might need to start planning now. So I'm going to do myself and you can too, a focus plan for the year. So literally block out certain times in the month. So it might be holidays, it might be events, it might be certain. Try to sort of look and focus more on the bigger things rather than the little things. I don't mean everyday things that you go into the doctors or the dentist, nothing like that. I just mean the big things through the year, and then try to start thinking, right, well, if I've got a holiday then, what do I need to plan for? You might need a brand new wardrobe of clothes, or, you know, you might have lost weight and you might need to buy some new clothes. Hopefully that'll happen to me by the summer. I'll hopefully need to buy a whole new wardrobe of clothes. Not sure if that's going to happen, guys. Let's face it, it probably won't. But you never know. You never know. I won't have enough money to go out and buy a whole outfit of, you know, a whole wardrobe of outfits for holidays. But I'll definitely want some new holiday outfits. But do you see what I mean? Like trying to sort of focus, right, you might be going on holiday in July. So maybe in May or June, you might be wanting to get those outfits sorted. So just have that focus plan. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set out everything that we're going to be doing that's big things, renovation work in the house that we're having done, lots of big things, and then I can try to focus ahead. So a month ahead, 2 months ahead, whatever it needs to be done to focus and plan on that specific thing. Because otherwise, like I said, I've got all the ideas in my head, don't put it down in paper, and I can't focus and plan on those things. And before you know it, that thing that you think is 3 months away, 6 months away, oh no, it's then next week, and then you think, actually, I haven't planned any of that. Number 11 is family time. Making that time for your family and doing things together. Now, when Emily was younger, never was an issue. You know, we used to spend quite a bit of time together as a family. I don't know, life never seemed to be that difficult in the sense that you were all together quite a lot, but you have separate times, etc., etc. Not now, not now she's a teenager. No, definitely not. It's changed so much. Everything in our life has changed, and it's all so easy. If you out there have got a teenager, I feel for you. I definitely do. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, I love Emily to bits. She's my teenager. She's my lovely daughter. But teenage years definitely test you, don't they? And I know, before anyone says I've got a lot more to come, I know that. But anyone who's got teenagers or been through those times, comment down below, you know, what's your experience? How can you help me? How can you help other people? What's your biggest piece of advice when it comes to teenage years? You know, any help, I'd love it. I'd love to hear from you all, so definitely comment down below. But for me, the family time aspect has just become a lot less, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay that, you know, teenagers need their space and they need the time, they need to play the music and contact their friends and do all the shopping and things that they want to do. I get that. They also have homework, don't they? You know, there's a massive amount on schoolwork and things like that, so I do understand that. However, trying to get that time together as a family is becoming increasingly more difficult, whereby at meal times, I'm finding that, you know, before we used to have meals at the table. Oh no, not now. It's like meals are separate. You know, Emily's sort of wanting to take her food upstairs and having her own space, and yeah, becoming quite difficult, I must admit. Very, very hard. So I want to put into place for 2024, we start having a lot more family meals at the table, in the dining room. We have a dining room, you know, we've got the space, we can do it. And although, yeah, we're all working, school and things like that, but it's an excuse, isn't it? We all use it so much that we can't be bothered, you know, haven't got time. It's easy, just everyone eats separate, or, I mean, we all eat the same food. I don't mean I cook separate food. But I just mean it's all too easy to give in to those sort of things of, oh yeah, you have your tea separate, we'll do this. Or, you know, my husband might be busy, he might be working, etc. And then I find myself in this position where, hang on, we're supposed to be a family here. So I think just some of the time, I don't mean all of the time, I do think everybody needs their own space, everyone needs their own time to themselves, but I think some meals need to be at the table, sat talking about our day, about school, about work, about YouTube, lots of different things that crop up in a family conversation. And when you haven't got phones, you haven't got devices, and you haven't got YouTube, you haven't got other things that are there as a distraction, you honestly do have so many more family conversations. It's definitely different, isn't it? If you have phones and you're all doing things separate, it just doesn't work as a family. So for me, it's definitely going to be table, family, together, tea time. Not every night, as I say, you know, I'm not going to be that unfair to religiously say that has to be done, but I think a lot of the meals, I think it's really, really important. And I think as a family we've lost that a little bit. You out there might be feeling exactly the same, so just try to put that into place, even if you start it very slowly, in the sense it's one night, it's 2 nights, it might be 3 or 4, but you put that into place, that you sit down, you have that meal, you talk as a family, and you have that family meal together. I think it's really, really important. Also, just taking time as a family to do those things that maybe you once used to do, maybe you've got out of the habit of doing, maybe things like games nights or board games, anything like that would have enjoyable fun for all of you. Maybe a movie night, maybe going to the cinema, or doing something that you actually all enjoy. Maybe sit down and talk about it in terms of what do you all want to do. Meal planning is definitely something that I want to do an awful lot more. This is something I used to do quite regular. You know, I used to do it for quite a lot of years, if I'm honest, in terms of I used to plan the whole week, what we were going to eat, that's what I'd shop for, that's what I'd make, that'd be the end of it. Now, just don't seem to do that anymore. I just seem to have got out of the habit, for various different reasons. Yes, busyness is one of them, but I think actually planning your meals, I think really helps if you're really busy. I think it can help in terms of saving money as well, and I think as well in terms of diet. So expect more videos from this channel in terms of meal planning, food hauls, things such as that. So I'm definitely going to be looking more into the meal planning side of things. So that's another one for 2024. Moving on to 13 is actually making homemade meals. I want to start making a lot more homemade things. I've always cooked, I've always done homemade things, but gradually as the years have gone on, I think at points in my life I end up turning to ready meals. I turn to quick and easy things, and I don't do as much cooking. As I say, I always still do cooking, I always still do meals at some point or another, but not as often as I would really like to. I really enjoy cooking, but I feel that cooking is that thing that you need the time to do it, the patience to do it, and I think sometimes I've lost that a little bit, and I definitely want to get that back. So homemade cooking, I want to set myself a challenge for 2024. I want to start doing, you know, like a solid week or a solid few weeks or something where I make everything homemade. Nothing is like pre-done or ready done or, you know, anything like that. So I'm definitely going to set myself some challenges. You can follow along with me as well. So definitely subscribe to our channel if all of these type of things that you're hearing on this video are things that really interest you, and you'll definitely be wanting to watch more videos on these type of lines. Subscribe to our channel to definitely see more. So number 14 is all about saving money. We'd all love to do that, wouldn't we? A lot more often. But how about putting into place quite a few really, really little changes that will then help you save money? So what I've kind of thought of is little things that I sometimes do. I don't mean there's anything wrong with doing it, but I just mean putting a few things into place that you usually would do, that if you stop doing, then you'd save that little bit of money. So it could be anything from catching a bus when you could walk. You could save that bus money. going for coffees and things like that, going for a drink or any type of food. So like at lunchtime, so maybe you work and every day you have lunch out, for instance, you know, or you buy a meal deal or something, when actually if you made it at home and you do things like that, it could save you a lot of money. So try and think of really little things. I think a lot of the time, I think a lot of us do look at the big things in terms of saving money. So if we've got, you know, large household bills that we can make cheaper, we'll look into that. We don't necessarily think of the smaller things. So it might be things that we're spending on food, on toiletries, on little bits and pieces, like I said, that we do as a lifestyle habit that we don't actually necessarily need to do. So I for myself, you know, if I'm sort of in our town centre or if I'm out and about or anything, I won't think twice about going to buy a coffee, for instance. But sometimes I maybe do that a little bit too much, and I maybe shouldn't do that. I'm not saying I shouldn't do it, I'm just saying it's an effort to save a little bit of money. That could be a way of saving money. Maybe catching a bus when you could walk. I do walk an awful lot, but I do tend to get buses on the way back from work. So maybe I could walk a bit more, save that bus money, things like that. I don't tend to buy lunches out. I do tend to make a lot of things myself, for me, for my husband, for Emily. Emily has pack up and things at school. So, we do the things to try to save money as much as we can. And the thing is, you know, when we go on holiday, and you'll see from my YouTube channel, you know, 5-star luxury all-inclusive holidays do cost quite a lot of money. However, if you get good deals, they don't necessarily cost as much money as what you necessarily think. And in order to afford holidays and travel, which is what we personally as a family love to do, that's why we save an awful lot of money in order to do that. So I think you have to prioritise what you want to spend your money on and then how you want to save your money. Personally for me, for 2024, I'm going to look into those little things that either I do or my husband or Emily, those little things that we like to sort of think, well, that's cheap, I'll buy that. I quite like that, so I'll buy that, or I don't really need it, but I'll buy it. Those type of scenarios where it might only be a few pound here and a few pound there, but are there little ways that we can just do to save a little bit of money? It might be more on our food. So again, I'm going to definitely do more videos on things such as the food related. Is there a way that we can save money on certain items of food? Which I think as a family we do that already. You know, we are quite sort of savvy with money and food related costs and things like that. I don't try to go overboard in terms of spending money on anything, if I'm honest. But I think there's little ways that we can all do to change. So you yourself at home, you know, look at little things that you do that are not necessarily necessary all the time, you know, not every week, and maybe you add those things up. It might be that it's £10, £20, £50, whatever it might be each week. Draw that money out in cash or transfer it from one account to another, save that in a pot to one side, and by the end, you know, by a month later, you'll have a certain pot of money and you'll think, oh, actually I saved that money from those little tiny things that I just used to take for granted, and now I've got that pot of money. You might then want to save that for the whole year, and then that might then actually pay for a big holiday, and then you'll just think, brilliant, I've got a holiday out of it for doing things that I just didn't think about what I was spending my money on. So I think it's the little changes. The big ones are really obvious, but I think it's the little ones that definitely make a difference. Also to do with saving money, number 15, I think we're on now, yeah, 15, have a no buy month. Now I myself, I just think, well, there's always going to be things you need to buy, but I think a no buy month would definitely be relating to things that are not necessary. So if you've got obviously Christmas or birthdays or a holiday or things that you need to buy, so you might need to buy clothes that you're going on holiday for, you know, you might have, children might have grown out of clothes, etc. You have to then buy them clothes. They might need new shoes and things like that, or things for school. They're obvious things, they're necessities. I think if you take all the necessities out of it and then literally think to yourself, I'm not going to spend any money on anything else that's not necessary, and have a no buy month. Now I think, to be honest, as a family, I think we've done quite well over January. Hence why I haven't put videos out there in terms of sale shopping or anything like that, because I haven't done hardly any. I've only gone sale shopping for a few odds and ends that actually I needed to buy anyway, and then I've just ultimately saved a little bit of money on them. But I've purposely stopped myself from trying to buy lots of things in the sale. Usually I would go out in the sale. I'd buy for things ahead, I'd buy for next Christmas, I'd buy for birthdays. I think as well, because Emily's changing such a lot as a teenager, I think things that I would have usually bought that I would put away, I'm not sure that if I put things away, she's actually going to like those items. You know, clothing changes, everything changes. And because I'm not sure, I just think, do you know what? I'm not going to buy it cheap just because it's cheap, because in 6 months' time or whenever I pull that out to have as a present or whatever, it might not actually be needed. So I've really, really tried this January to not spend unnecessary money. But there are little changes that I could still make. But yeah, have a no buy month. Take out all the things that are not necessary, see what money you can save. Another massive thing is decluttering. Declutter your house. A tidy house is a tidy mind, for definite. Now, is my house tidy? No, it's not. Is my mind tidy? No, it's not, for definite. These are things that I definitely need to change. So decluttering anything in terms of, it could just be a specific room, it can be your whole house, it can be certain cupboards and drawers and things that you just don't get around to doing. I definitely think decluttering them is a big thing for 2024. And I think a lot of things with decluttering and getting rid of things, you know, whether it be passing things on to charity, whether it be things that just need to go in the rubbish, you know, just organising your, you know, drawers, your cupboards, your rooms, everything in your house, I think can actually just make you feel so much better. Right now, as we're talking here together in the, you know, for YouTube on this video, I've definitely got most rooms full of rubbish, if I'm honest. This is the only place that I can actually film that looks tidy. So I, for one, am definitely someone that usually would be very organised, planning and, you know, getting rid of things, getting things sorted. And I haven't done that. I haven't done that at all. The last few months have just been something that it's been one thing after another thing. I think Christmas doesn't help, does it? Because for me, I have an awful lot of Christmas. If you've seen any of our Christmas videos, you know, Vlogmas, and anything relating to Christmas, you'll realise that, you know, I do quite a lot in terms of Christmas things, and decorations is something that I have an awful lot of at Christmas. So come January, when it all goes down, everything just looks bare. And right now, because we don't have much room in our loft, because we need to fully tidy all of that out, I've got all my Christmas things in my conservatory. Lots of things in the loft to sort. Emily's room, it needs a complete renovation, so she's in a different room. We've got so many projects going on, and it is all really time consuming and really takes a massive hold of your brain, where you just think, how can I possibly do all of these things? And just the normal things hanging around in cupboards and drawers, and, you know, you put things in, you leave it there and you keep adding to it. I think just decluttering is a really, really big thing. 17 is start and finish. Finish what you've started, basically. Again, I didn't even get that right in what I was trying to say. I'm someone that usually starts things and doesn't always finish them. I wouldn't say this is for everything, because obviously doing YouTube or anything of this nature, you have to start something, you have to finish it, you have to get that product finished, you have to get, you know, for instance, the video, you know, finished and completed. So I do finish things, but I think there's so many things in the house that we've started in terms of decorating and we haven't finished it. There's projects and things that I've done with Emily that we've started that we haven't finished. I think there's so many things that I think in our life that we've just started, not finished. And I'm pretty sure you out there are probably in a similar position where maybe that's you, you know, and you just then can't motivate yourself to maybe finish something, or you just don't get around to doing it because of time and things. I think it's really important to try to focus on something, start it, try and see it right the way through to the end and get it done, whether it be a project, whether it be renovation work, you know, DIY and things such as that, or something just personally for yourself that you're trying to do and try to finish. That's definitely going to be an objective for me for 2024. 18 is a new skill or a new hobby. Now, for me personally, well, for myself and Emily, because we do YouTube, we've got the Brownie Life channel, we've actually set up a brand new channel, which is a Disney channel. So it's going to be all dedicated to all things Disney. So specifically Disneyland Paris, Disney hauls, Disney theming, lots of things like that. So go check out that channel if you haven't already. It's called Disney Brownies. Subscribe if you want lots of Disney content, you want to see more from myself and Emily on that channel. Moving forward with a second YouTube channel is a big thing for definite. Obviously, you out there, it might be something completely and utterly different. So taking up a new skill or a new hobby. So it might be something that you've always loved, you know, sewing sewing, or you've always loved cooking, and you might want to do a class on it, an online course or something like that. So I think it's really important to try and think of something new for the year that you really want to, you know, really get your teeth into, and really start something new that's different, that's something that's really enjoyable to yourself. As I say, for me personally, it's YouTube. It's something that I want to create, want to do more things. I really would love to do something more creative, as in theming. Theming is something for me, I think that's the reason why we love Disney so much, because I love theming. But for me personally, I love to do themed things. So if I can do a meal, for instance, that's themed, or an afternoon tea that's themed, or something to do with just something that has a theme. I really love all that type of thing. If you haven't already checked out our Barbie video that I did, you know, I did themed food around Barbie, and we did a Barbie quiz and things such as that. I love doing things like that. Halloween, I did other themed things. Christmas, I've done lots of themed things. I'd love to probably in the future maybe start some type of YouTube channel to do with theming. I'd love to do that. Right now, I think those type of things will probably sit in this channel. If you're all enjoying watching it, that's perfect. But obviously, if I don't have the audience that really likes that type of thing, then I'd love to start something new in terms of creating something just that bit different, because I think definitely theming and creating things is something that I really enjoy, that I really love. And I think, for you out there, find something that you really enjoy, a new skill, or a new hobby, and get on and do that in 2024. Number 19 is definitely do something that you want to do in 2024. So for this current year, what are the things that you really want to do? For me personally, I want to travel more, go on more holidays. They're the type of things, not just for myself, but for my family, for Emily and Emily's dad. We all love doing that type of thing together in terms of traveling and holidays. So for us, that's our main focus. That's what we really want to do. And we're definitely going to be looking into places that we really want to go, and sort of just, really thinking about that a lot more. So for you all, it might be something completely different, but just do something that you really want to do within this current year. It might be something really little, as in just, a cinema trip once a week, or starting a new group or something. It doesn't have to be travel plans or big things, which obviously cost a lot of money. It can be quite expensive. It's not as simple as what do you want to do in life and therefore go do it, because it's, it's not as easy as that. It might be once in a lifetime thing that you've never done. You might want to jump out of planes, or, go in a hot air balloon or something like that. I've no idea, but that they're the type of things that I'm talking about, that it might just be something that interests you, that you really want to do this year for 2024. Number 20 is making time as a couple. In all relationships, I think we all forget each other, don't we? We all don't have the time. We're all so busy in our day-to-day life doing lots of different things. For me personally, it's working, it's YouTube, it's a family life, it's doing things in the house, DIY, then in between all of that, holidays and traveling and things. Life does get busy and you do forget things, but I definitely want 2024 to be the time where us as a couple, as in me and Emily's dad, we just make that time more for each other. So it could be just a film, or going out to the cinema, going out for a meal, just making that time. Number 21 is mum and teen time. So yeah, that's for me and Emily. She's a teenager, things are definitely different, as I explained further, earlier on in the video. I want to set some time aside in 2024. Again, a lot of these things do relate to time, and time is something that you can't always quantify because it's difficult, isn't it? It's really, really hard to do that. But for one, definitely want to be there for her in terms of her growing up and being a teenager. Life is different, it does change, for definite. And I myself need to be focused on, it is changing, whether I like it or not. It's changing, and I have to adapt. You have to adapt to change, and I think that's something I've really struggled with the last few months. I've personally just really struggled. So I think I need to move on from that and try to adapt, change, be there for Emily, get through these teenage years, do all the things that are expected of me as a parent. Me and Emily's dad, we're going to do our best that we can, to get through teenage years and things that obviously happen, like schooling, GCSEs. There's so many things right now that are at the forefront of life moving on and everything moving so fast. You've got to be interested in the same things. And maybe a little while ago, we definitely were interested in everything together. We did an awful lot together and really, really close. We still are, but things are different. I've got to adapt, and I've got to sort of look at different ways where I can be similar, but obviously there has to be boundaries, there has to be discipline and things like that. But I think even just thinking of programmes, series and things that we could watch together, shopping days. Obviously Emily loves to go to Primark, so we're still definitely going to be putting out the Primark content for you all, so we'll definitely be doing that really soon. I think certainly in the next week or so we'll be looking at a Primark trip, see what's new in Primark and maybe some more specific things in Primark. I think for Emily now, being a teenager, I think the YouTube aspect is something that is quite difficult because it's been out there, isn't it? It's putting these videos out online. For one, for two, it's having the time to do it around other things. She obviously has a lot of friends and other things out of school, and then school takes up a lot of her time as well. So a lot of the sit down videos like today, things like lifestyle and hauls, food related things, I think will be more me now moving forward on the channel. But definitely Emily is still interested in all the Primark things and obviously holidays and things such as that where we're all together. So you'll definitely still see Emily, but I think there will be a lot more of just me. So I hope you all still enjoy all of our content, and I look forward to obviously having Emily in some of the videos really soon. As I say, subscribe if you haven't already. If you love Primark things and you love shopping hauls and things such as that, we'll definitely have more content like that coming up, me and Emily. Number 22 is dealing with things for yourself, having some me time. I think I'm definitely guilty for a lot of years, never ever really putting myself first. I think it is something that has only happened to me more recently where I think, actually, yeah, I need to do that for myself and I need to do this for myself, because if you don't, you're not always going to be there for all of the other people in your family. When you need to do that for your teenager or you need to do that for a family member or something, you might not feel well enough, you might not have the time to do those things. And I think it is just really important that you take the time for yourself first, because I think it is also easy to just get so busy with everything, you then become poorly, you get ill all the time, and then you can't focus on the things that you really, really need to do for your family. So definitely some me time. Now, in terms of what that would entail, I think for me, I do need to have more of a skincare regime. It's something I haven't really bothered with that much, if I'm honest. I've always drunk a lot of water, and I think that's really good and important for your skin. Water just in general, just drinking lots of water is a definite thing. It's free, it's out of a tap. Why not drink a lot more water? I think that's an amazing thing that everybody should do. I do drink an awful lot of water, and it's definitely a really good skincare thing to drink lots of water and flush all those toxins out of your body for definite. But I haven't used expensive creams. I haven't used any particular, major products. I've used quite cheap moisturisers that I've used for an awful long time, and I don't really have a strict regime. Obviously, I wash my face, I put moisturiser on, brush my teeth, put my makeup on, things like that. But I haven't done much beyond that really, face masks and pampering and things like that. I've just never been a person that does an awful lot of that. But I think this year I'm definitely going to try to look at more products to help my aging skin, because I'm over 40 now, and quite a lot over 40, and I need to probably do something about wrinkles and aging, things like that. So again, comment down below, we can help each other in terms of any of these type of videos. I'd love to hear from anyone in terms of maybe more of a budget face care regime, skincare products. Emily put Drunk Elephant on her Christmas list. Really, I'm not going to be buying those type of products for a 13 going on 14-year-old. She's going to be 14 very soon. I don't believe that you should be spending that amount of money. If you've got a lot of money and you don't mind spending it, perfect. But I just think there's so many more things in life that you could spend your money on, not really expensive skincare. But drop me a comment if you know of anything that's more of a budget but is really good in terms of a skincare regime, all the different products that you can buy, and I'll definitely look into it. Or I might do some testing and I might do some videos on things, who knows. But I definitely want to put some more effort into my skincare for definite, and just make a bit more me time. Workouts, exercise and diet has to be my goal for this year, for 2024. I can't stay the way I am. I don't want to, for my mental health and physical health. And for you all out there, anyone that's feeling the same as me, follow along on these videos and we'll do these things together. I think from skincare to diet, exercise, I think it's so important to do all of those things for yourself and be a healthier and happier person for the family around you. Number 23 is very close to my heart, and that's the reason why I've left it till further on in the video, because all of the video I think has been quite uplifting, and I think has been more motivational, and this point won't suit everybody, won't be everybody's thing. You might not have gone through this yourself, so therefore you won't necessarily understand what I'm talking about, and I'm only going to touch on the subject very, very shortly, and then I'm going to move on to point 24, which will be the end of the video then. But number 23 is dealing with grief, coping with loss, and how you deal with it yourself. Now, I personally have gone through an awful lot in terms of coping with grief. Have struggled with it an awful lot as well. I've lost both my parents, my dad quite a while ago, but my mum, won't say more recent, it's not that recent, but it's still within the pandemic years. Really difficult time, and it's really difficult to cope with grief. And I think when you're looking at something to do in terms of a year of what do you want to do for 2024, 2025, or whatever year you might be looking at, making New Year's resolutions and things such as that, I think if you're trying to cope with grief and moving on, I wouldn't say moving on, I'd say move through, because you don't move on. I think you just move through it and your life becomes different stages. I need to not hold on to the past as much as I have been. I need to learn how to deal with this and cope and move through it to help me have a much better year, a healthier and happier new me. But it is exceptionally difficult. If you're with somebody every day of your life, you love them so much, and you lose them, it's incredibly sad and it's incredibly lonely. And it's something that, from all these things that I've talked about on all of this list, I think personally for me, this is the biggest thing that I've got to try to get myself through this year. As I say, these losses are not something that happened last year, but they have happened. Certainly one has happened, quite recent, over quite recent years. And it's still raw, it's still difficult to deal with. And why am I doing YouTube? Why am I putting this out? Well, I think the thing is, I think in a lot of ways, YouTube has made me focus on something else. I think to take that away from the hurt and the grief that I was going through, but it doesn't go away. And it's something that I need to be able to deal with a lot more. So for 2024, I want to channel my grief and the coping mechanisms, the sadness and things. I want to channel it into something else. So I'm definitely going to be putting a project into place for myself where I look through, I've got so many family albums, with my mum and my dad in. I want to put those old photographs into digital format. I want to do new albums and things such as that. I want to look back and create their old memories, but create new things, if you see what I mean. So I think channel that grief in a completely different way and try to see that was then and this is now, and I've got to do something else, obviously, with my life, but still looking back at those memories and those things that you cherish forever. So I want to put channel all of that grief into a different way. And I think it's really important to have your sad times as well. I think anyone out there dealing with grief right now, whether it be recent or whether it be a long time ago, I think you have to have those sad times. I think you have to have the times where you feel low and you feel sad and you want to cry and you want to let it out, because I think that is really exceptionally important. Because if you don't, that sadness and those upsetting times comes out when you least expect it, for definite. But I definitely need to deal with things in a much better way. So for 2024, I'm going to focus on deep within, those grief, those coping mechanisms. We're now on 24. I know 23 was maybe not very uplifting, so thank you for sticking with me if you're still with me now. And if you've turned off, well, you won't be seeing this part, will you? But I hope that everyone still stayed with me throughout this very, very long 2024 video. But number 24 is looking after your health, checkups, so your doctors, your dentists, your opticians, anything that you need to do. It's all too easy, as I say, with lots of other things, to put things on the back burner and not worry about it, not think about it. But ultimately, all that happens is you just worry about it an awful lot more. If there's things that you need to get checked out, I've had hospital procedures, as I say, just recently, you know, things that have happened to me. So I definitely think for 2024, I'm going to be a lot more conscious of health things and looking after myself a lot more. I think if you look after yourself, then I think you can look after your family an awful lot better. So looking out for those health things that you really need to be looking out for, I think is a definite plus. Keeping those appointments, you know, your GPs and your dentists, and everything that you need to do to keep yourself healthy. So I'm definitely going to be focusing on all of these 24 things for 2024. I hope you will do too. So this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already to see more content like this and lots more content that we're going to have planned for 2024. Lots more exciting new videos coming up. So thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.